Okay, so this week you are doing citing evidence to make inferences. Every part in the packet, I think there are 5 parts total. So, an inference is when you are reading a text and it doesn't necessarily give you the information, so you have to, like right here, a reasonable guess. You have to guess based on what you read and what you already know, so the knowledge that you already have in your brain. So this is asking you to read it. It's about the giant squid. So you're going to read it once, and then you're going to read it again, and then underline evidence suggesting whether the writer feels scientists should keep researching the giant squid. So after you do that, and after you underline everything, the question that you have to answer is, does the writer think that scientists should keep researching the giant squid? So you're going to use what you read in here and what you already know to fill out charts. So this one is already filled out. This is what you know. A person with positive feelings about a type of work usually wants that work to continue. Okay, what the text says. These are quotes taken directly from this text up here. And then your inference is the author thinks that scientists should keep researching the giant squid. So then you're going to come down to the next page, part 2. We are going to read the first part of a scientific account about Bigfoot. A scientist's search for Bigfoot. Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum is an associate professor of anatomy and anthropology at Idaho State University. He specializes in primate foot structure, the category that includes apes, monkeys, and humans. His interests also include evaluating footprints that some claim are left by a mythical North American ape known as Bigfoot. Meldrum's laboratory houses more than 200 casts and artifacts relating to Bigfoot. Although he believes that some samples are hoaxes, others interest him, such as unidentified hair and unique casts of muscle and foot bone anatomy. So we're going to explore how we can answer this question. Dr. Meldrum thinks that some samples are hoaxes, but others interest him. Why is he most likely interested in those samples? If we read the second paragraph, it suggests that Dr. Meldrum thinks, but does not state it directly. This is the second paragraph. Meldrum's laboratory houses more than 200 casts and artifacts relating to Bigfoot. Although he believes that some samples are hoaxes, others interest him, such as unidentified hair and unique casts of muscle and foot bone anatomy. So we need to fill in one more part of what the text says. So what we know is that if a scientist is interested in something, he or she might think it has scientific value, and a scientist might keep samples that could lead to a discovery. Right, because if I'm a scientist and I want the world to believe that Bigfoot exists, I'm going to keep everything that I have on Bigfoot so other people will discover that it is actually real. So what the text says. There's already one here. Meldrum's laboratory houses more than 200 casts and artifacts relating to Bigfoot. So we need to look for details suggesting why Meldrum is interested in other samples. So we need one more thing that the text says, and I think that would be looking at this. They already have this first sentence in there. So if we want to know why Meldrum is interested in other samples, we can see that he believes that some samples are hoaxes, which means they're not real. I would say others interest him, such as unidentified hair. So he found hair, but they don't know who or what it belongs to because it doesn't match any of the other creatures that are already on Earth that we already have discovered. And unique casts of muscle and foot bone anatomy. So they're unique in that they maybe don't match the other primates that are on Earth right now, apes, monkeys, and humans, or they have a variation of them. So this is what I would put right here, what the text says. I do not believe I can type it in, but that is something I would write here. And then the inference, we have to complete the inference statement. Dr. Meldrum is most likely interested in those other samples because he knows they aren't hoaxes, and it might lead to a discovery of Bigfoot actually existing. On the lines below, explain how the details you presented in the chart support your evidence. Well, again, we would go back to the second paragraph in saying that he believes that some are hoaxes, but others, the unidentified hair and the unique cast of muscle and foot bone anatomy, might lead to a discovery of Bigfoot one day, because he can't prove, nor can anyone else prove, that it's a hoax right now. Then you go on to the next page and do part 3. So this is the continued story. Continue reading. Use the close reading and hint to help you answer the question. So you're going to use these on the left side to help you answer the question. Many anthropologists criticize Meldrum's work. They feel he is trying to find an imaginary creature that exists only in folklore. Meldrum tells critics he is not saying that Bigfoot exists. He just believes there is enough evidence to justify scientific investigation. Unsurprisingly, most anthropologists reject Meldrum's evidence. Dr. David J. Degling, a University of Florida anthropologist who thinks Meldrum's methods of analyzing data are unscientific, sums up this feeling. Meldrum's evidence doesn't look better on deeper analysis. It looks worse. Close reading. What do most other scientists think about Meldrum's work? Underline the sentence that tells how they feel about it. So we got another scientist right here. Who says this quote down here, but also up in the third paragraph right here. How do they feel about it? Look at this. They feel he is trying to find an imaginary creature that exists only in folklore. They feel. Right there from the question into the text. Okay, here is the hint. Which choice gives evidence of what most scientists think of Bigfoot research? Right. Which sentence from the account best supports the idea that most scientists do not find value in investigating Bigfoot artifacts? So A, many anthropologists criticize Meldrum's work. B, they feel he is trying to find an imaginary creature that exists only in folklore. C, Meldrum tells critics he is not saying that Bigfoot exists. Or D, he just believes there is enough evidence to justify scientific investigation. So let's go back to the question. Which sentence from the account best supports the idea that most scientists, okay, so we're talking about most scientists, do not find value in investigating Bigfoot artifacts? So since we know we're talking about most scientists and we're not talking about Meldrum, it can't be this one, because this is talking about what Meldrum believes. We want to know what about this investigation of Bigfoot most scientists don't find the value in spending time in research and discovering. So now that we have 3 answers left, we got rid of D because this one is about what Meldrum thinks, and we need to find out about what most scientists think. So, When we underline the sentence up here, they feel he is trying to find an imaginary creature that exists only in folklore. So this is talking about what do most other scientists think about Meldrum's work, right? Which sentence from the account best supports the idea that most scientists do not find value in investigating Bigfoot artifacts? Well, we already found the answer up here, so, great circle. Alright, and then we scroll down here. Look at the answer you chose above. Explain how the evidence in your answer helped show them that most scientists do not find value in investigating Bigfoot artifacts. So you're just going to take a quote from what you read, and you're going to put it down here and explain why. Explain why you chose this answer. Use your inferences, use your knowledge that you already have. Okay, part 4. Now you're reading of Tales of Chupacabras. Okay? So again, use the notes on the left side to help you when you're reading. You're going to read this. You're going to do these two things over here. Underline the answer to this and underline the answer to this. You're going to scroll to the next page. And you're going to answer these questions. 1, 2, and 3. Use the hints on the left side. And then you're going to go to part 5. Looking for the Loch Ness Monster. You get to read about some interesting creatures this week. Some interesting folklores, or are they scientific discoveries? You will soon find out. Okay, so it's a little long. You can do it. And then you have 4 questions over here to answer. 4 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. In writing. Okay, so this was part of yesterday and today's work, and along with that you do have one other assignment to do, but I'm going to push it to tomorrow. So the assignment for reading The Scent of Memory, let's see, I will scroll to it really fast. The Scent of Memory, this is what you're supposed to read as well. Yes, we will push. Well, let's see, how about you read the story today and then try to answer the questions, and if you log on to the 6th grade help today or tomorrow, we can go through it. Okay? Alright, I will see you guys on whichever Zoom meeting you are joining today, and remember, come with specific questions. Bye!